right. I had to wait and see if make sure it was going. Good evening, good evening, good evening. I hope everybody is doing well. I hope you guys are having a good week so far. It's already freaking Wednesday, which is amazing to me. Lots of things to talk about, actually, a couple different things to talk about, but we'll get into that in just a little bit. First of all, I want to remind everybody before we do anything else that this is a very family friendly oriented channel. It is We just want everybody to be decent in the chat, no racism, no nastiness. If you cannot abide by those very simple, easy rules, those awesome people lit up in blue with the blue wrenches are going to put you out of here because we are not going to tolerate it. So it's as simple as that. So before we get rolling here, I am going to get a drink. There we go. Very nice. All right. Oh, goodness. Man, I'll tell you what we had today was, and it's 5 days in a row. Today was the fifth day in a row. Absolutely beautiful weather, clear skies, plenty of solar. I mean, the solar's been jamming. I haven't had to run the generator at all, which I love that. That's a good thing. It's just been really, really nice, and so really just loving that. So 30 months went so fast. Wow, it's been that long already. That is definitely wild that it's been that long. So, what is this thing doing here? Hold on a second. I gotta. Here we go. 30 months. Wow. I can't believe I've been doing those private live streams that long. That's the thing that kills me. I cannot believe I've been doing those private live streams that long. It's crazy. So, anyway, and thank you so much for the support for that entire time, too, Malachi's Corner. It really does mean a lot. And it definitely helps because I do with the membership folks, just because she just posted it up there, I'll explain a little bit. I do a private live stream for my hardcore members, so they pay every month, and I do a private live stream every Monday for those members. And as you can see, it says 30 months, so she has been part of that for that whole time period. And so that's and like I said, all that money goes back to doing anything that I'm doing here. So um, raining here in Arizona. Yeah, I know you guys are getting hit out there. That storm hit California, and then it moved inwards. But I'll tell you what, this weather has just been amazing, absolutely amazing here. So feel very, very fortunate to. No, the four wheeler brakes aren't out. For what I don't know what happens with it. It's Dave's four wheeler, but if you're on an incline, even if you have it in drive or whatever, and you get off, or not drive, I'm sorry, if you get off the four wheeler, if it will start to roll on you. I don't know why. So you just have to not be, you know, going on a slope, I guess. And West Virginia is just one big slope, realistically. Only flat land, realistically, in West Virginia is what you carve out. That's kind of how that goes. Okay, a couple things we're obviously going to talk about. The title is, is this a fair and in deal? And I definitely called BS on it. And Israel has already said absolutely not. So I don't know if you guys had heard the offer from Hamas was that they would give all the rest of the prisoners back to Israel. All right, or I'm sorry, the hostages back to Israel. But Israel had to do three things. Okay, they were calling for a 135-day ceasefire. Okay, so that Israel would not have to be able to attack them for 135 days. The second thing that they wanted was that Israel had to pull all their troops out of Gaza. So all of the progress that they've made and everything that they've done so far, they would have had to pull all their troops back into Israel. And um, the third one they did or said they wanted 1,000 prisoners that were in Israeli prisons for is part of that deal too. So they would have to give up 1,000 basically fighters back to Hamas, and so Israel said Absolutely not. And I don't blame Israel. Again, like I said, I don't understand understand the mindset of people in this country that can't understand why Israel's doing what Israel is doing. But like I said, Israel's doing the stuff that the United States should do in a combat situation, but doesn't have the balls to do it. Okay, and basically snubbing their nose at everybody else. And good for Israel. All right, I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. You can have your opinion, which is perfectly fine. I'm going to have my opinion. This is my channel. That's my opinion. I hope they stop them into a mud hole. When you have an attack that happened the way that Hamas did on Israel, they have a right, regardless of, I don't care anything else, with what they did, Israel has a right to do what they're doing. And if you don't like it, tough. You know, in a war situation, do men and women and children die? Yes, they do. Hey, Nathan, what's up, better? How you doing, man? I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for the donation. I do appreciate that as well. So thank you very much. It's just like I said, I'm so tired. Honestly, I'm so tired of the bleeding hearts screaming the loudest, dictating what our policies are. I mean, there's so much pressure on the administration to, almost force Israel to stop. Why would they? You know what I mean? And it's just like I, from day one, I in Israel. That hasn't changed. If I was in charge over in Israel, I'd be doing the same exact thing. And yes, we're going to talk about that too in a minute. We're going to talk about that border deal. Um, but and I love how it's being spun. We're going to talk about all that because I just watched actually Meechin from here in West Virginia talking about it and saying how it was terrible, and we'll get into all that in just a minute. But and this is what kills me, and like I said, we're gonna get into that in just a minute. So anyway, again, with the situation over there, Israel had said no to that deal, and you realistically have to understand that they're saying that so many of the people, like 1 in 5, are that are still held hostage, are already dead. They're already saying that. I wouldn't be surprised if there were more. And I feel bad for the people that have been kidnapped. Don't get me wrong, I'm not heartless, but what you have to understand, folks, okay, first of all, when your government doesn't allow you to defend yourself as a citizen, let's break this down. Here, come on, stop. Let's break this down. When they were attacked, Israelis that lived in those areas were not allowed to have guns, okay? So they were not able to defend themselves from the attack. Number one, when you are surrounded by people that want to kill you, you should be able to defend yourself. I'm sorry, that's just the way I feel about it. And it's amazing now that those people in those areas are now armed, right? You know what I mean? Ed, to me, it was planned. I think that's what you mean by that planned. I don't disagree with that, Brad, that it was allowed to happen. I wouldn't. No, let me just rephrase that. I wouldn't be surprised. I'll put it like that. If it was allowed to happen so that Israel could do what Israel's doing. Now, there was talk, obviously, that Israel had been warned, especially by Egypt. That's hell, stop. Not right now. That Israel had been warned by Egypt of a pending attack, and that they allowed it to happen. Would that surprise me? No, it would not, because if they allow the attack to happen, they could do what they're doing right now. Okay, so yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. But again, okay, to me, you have to be able to defend yourself. And if you're in a country like Israel that is surrounded by countries that want to just kill them, why would you not allow the citizenry to be able to be armed to be able to defend themselves? So they were sitting ducks. They were attacked. We all know what happened and heard what happened and saw videos of what happened. But yet, when Israel retaliates, and goes in. What's an appropriate retaliation? I mean, that's a good question, right? What is okay with you? How many people can be killed to make it even? It's not about making it even, it's about making it right. And what Israel said from day one was that they are not, their mission is to eliminate Hamas. That is their position. Not to mention the prisoners were tortured. Yes, and the women raped. Absolutely. Yeah, JJ. Absolutely. You know, don't think that they were untouched, folks. Don't think that the Hamas fighters were just treated them so fairly and so nicely. Don't be delusional. War is hell. And what happens with people when they see other people as less than human, you know, you look at any situation in war, what happens to prisoners, what happens to people, what happens to the citizenry. It's not pretty. It is not pretty. So, but anyway, so there's, you know, that's my take on that situation. Like I said, I hope Israel burns the whole place to the ground. That's me. Okay. If you don't disagree with that, or if you disagree with that, that's perfectly fine. That's your right to think whatever you want to think. Like I said, I don't care. I really don't. This is my platform and I can say what I want to say on here. End of story, right? But again, Israel should be able to defend themselves. They should be able to say, yeah, the Geneva Convention is not in play. That is not in play. You're dealing with a terrorist organization, and it's high time that something is done about that situation. And Israel's doing what they promised to do, and they're not stopping. And like they're making this big deal right now because they're setting their sights on this last enclave, if you will, where they know Hamas is. They know that they're there. So that's the last bastion, it's the last spot that they have. And now all of a sudden, and you have to remember there now it happens here thanks to open. Yeah, it's happening there. It could happen here. Absolutely it could happen here. Absolutely it could happen here. We the open border thing, we're going to talk about the border here too in just a moment. We got 284 in the chat so far. We got 94 thumbs up. So again, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel. I do appreciate that as well. Also, it really makes a huge difference with the algorithm, so the more interaction the better for the channel. So that's why I asked for a thumbs up as well. Also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. I will tell you honestly, and just strictly my opinion, I never could understand the hatred that is out there against the Jewish people. I could never understand that. Okay, because I will tell you what, if I had, and I will be 100% honest with this, if I had $100,000 right now in my pocket that I wanted to invest, I would invest it through somebody who is Jewish that does it, because they know how to make money. Straight up, end of story. You can call that, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Not profiling, but stereotyping. Okay, but I will tell you what, Jewish people know how to make money. So why? Yeah, stereotype. It came to me. um, but again, it's like that's what I would do. I would invest my money with them because they know how to make money. Why would you not? If you want to make money, why would you not go to the best source to be able to do it? That's just my take. So I honestly don't understand the hatred. I really don't, personally. But I don't hate anybody. I just don't. So I just do what you got to do and do your thing. If it doesn't hurt anybody else, who cares? You know what I mean? That's always kind of been my philosophy. I have a son-in-law who is Jewish, and there's, like I said, nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Nothing wrong with that. So anyway, so that's my take on that situation. I applaud Israel for saying screw you on that. And what kind of one-sided deal is that? I mean, okay, we have what they have, what, 130 people supposedly, something like that, left, right? They got like 130 hostages that they still have. and you have to do all these things. We have to agree not to kill any more of you for 4 months, 5 months, so you can rebuild and reorganize and get re-squared away. Completely leave the area, and then give us, or give back 1,000 people who, oh yeah, by the way, want to kill you. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So, Ed, I feel like America's punishment is coming soon for things we've done wrong. Again, and I've talked about this, guys, and I appreciate you saying that, Nick. I've talked about the fact that, with this open border nonsense that we've got going on here, that there's a lot of bad actors that have probably come through that have bad intentions for America. They're sitting down waiting for orders, and that doesn't surprise me at all, and it won't surprise me at all. What'll happen is people will be surprised when it happens. I won't be surprised when it happens because I truly believe, that that's coming. It is absolutely coming, and like I said, it's people's fault for letting this happen in the first place by not taking care of our borders the way that they should be, not following our immigration stuff the way that we should be. Not all these people are asylum seekers, folks. And you don't give somebody an appearance ticket for 6 years down the road and then turn them loose in the country. It shouldn't work. Oh, you want to be an asylum seeker? Well, then you can stay in Mexico and you can stay there until your case is heard. I'm sorry. Does that make any sense? So let's talk about this border deal that just got squashed in Congress, and thank goodness it did. I did a video on it. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet. I'm not sure if it's already. I got one more video coming out tomorrow at 3 o'clock, and I don't remember what I'm doing. But anyway, you have a situation with this border bill that now the Democrats are saying, oh, see, the Republicans, they don't want to secure the border. They want to kick the can down, let Trump use it as an election ploy, blah 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 blah. Okay, you've had 4 years realistically to get the border squared away, and if Biden just enforced the laws that Trump had in place, right? And he can do executive orders to get things squared away again. That's all he's got to do is executive orders to get things squared away again. They've wanted this to happen. They've allowed this to happen. Okay, I mean, think about it. What other plausible explanation for the disaster that is at our southern border will explain that? So the deal with and two things that bother me about this deal. Number one, if you're going to do a border deal, right? You're going to get more agents, more ICE agents. You're going to secure the border, blah, blah, blah. Stand alone. See, here's a box. Put in the box. Here's what we're doing $20 million for border security. Make sure that gets taken care of. No pork attached to it. No this, no that. What was it? 118 or something like that $1 billion bill that they were trying to pass through. So they try to make it look like, oh, it's just this border, just the border. The border was only getting 20 million of that 118, or 20 billion of that 118 billion. 60 billion of it was going to go right to Ukraine, right? So that should be a no right off the top. That shouldn't even be on the table. Another 14 billion was going to go for Israel, right? Israel's problems are Israel's problems. They are not the United States problems. I'm sorry again. If you don't agree with that, that's perfectly fine. You can think whatever you want. But why should we be financing Israel? It's not our responsibility. Israel needs to take care of Israel. Okay? So, and then they had other things in there as well. But when you have, okay, 74 billion to go to other countries fighting wars, and 20 billion for the border. Well, how about why not 10 billion to Gaza? Really? Is that what it was too? Okay. Does that make any sense either? You know, it's all about the pork. Exactly. Standalone bill. You want to take care of the border and get the border squared away. And I am sure if they did that and did a bill just for the, how many pages are in these freaking bills, folks? All kinds of wording and this and that, and then they make all these deals behind closed doors to get what they want. It is just no other nation is in America seeking to help solve our border problem. Exactly. We need to take care of our own stuff. So you do a bill that says XYZ amount of money to fight this at the border, to get this squared away, to get things taken care of, and that's it. Add more agents. Add, well, the ICE stuff in. How about a faster time to check these people out too, instead of waiting? Oh yeah, here's your court date 6 years down the road. I mean, that's insanity. What can they do here in that time period? They can get dug in like ticks. I mean, realistically. And oh, and then all of a sudden, magically, their court date comes up and they don't show up. Wow, what a surprise that'll be, right? It's insanity. There is a way to come into this country if you want to become a U.S. citizen, and it's a slap in the face, honestly, to all the people that have done it the right way. It's a slap in the face to them. Yeah, and once again, they're blaming Trump. Of course, they're blaming Trump. Of course they are. That's all they ever have. That's all the Democrats have, right? Whose fault is it? It's Trump's fault. It's always Trump's fault. And again, I'm glad they didn't pass it. I'm glad it didn't go through, and it should not have gone through, for the simple fact that again, there's too much other crap attached to it. You want to take care of the border? Do a bill, standalone bill about the border, and I almost guarantee you, it would pass through with absolutely no problem. So. Yeah, remember Obama's care bill, over 5,000 pages. Yeah, exactly. And they don't ever have the time, these senators and these congressmen, to go through those bills to see what's really in them. They don't. They have no idea. Here's an idea. Call me crazy, but tomorrow we say no more, no mas, right? No more. We stop it all. Nobody else comes in illegally into the country. And you put the troops down there to make sure that once the troops leave, that they can't just come over and climb the fence and do whatever they're doing. You make sure the people are there to stop it. Oh, here's another idea, right? If you come across the river illegally trying to come into the country, we'll shoot you. How about that one? I guarantee you, we start doing that, and guess what happens? They stop coming tomorrow. They would stop coming tomorrow. End of story. Now, would they still have ways to probably get in here and there? Yeah. Yeah, just fly to the Canadian border. And that's the other thing, too. And I've talked about that, Viking prepper. Nobody talks about Canada. Nobody talks about, yeah, it's a long border. Exactly. Exactly. It's a long border. But I'll tell you what, you start putting some people in the ground that are coming in here illegally, they will stop. Okay. Yeah, the bill, yes, and the bill was going to allow up to 5,000 people per day. No, thank you very much. You put it up there, but I saw it before you retract, or it says message retracted. I don't know if you did it or YouTube did it, but yes, the bill also said that they would allow up to 5,000 people to come in per day. That's what they said in this bill. When it was already talked about before that when you have 4,000 a day, that's a nightmare trying to deal with. So why all of a sudden that now all of a sudden, we're going to allow up to 5,000? Close them up, you know. But again, you just go up to Canada. There's a lot of places in Canada that you can cross. A lot of places to cross up there. There's towns that part of the town is in the United States, part of the town is in Canada. Have you guys seen that? It literally is that easy. So, you know, it's insanity, and it's got to stop. It really does have to stop. And it's also a replacement agenda by the evil ones. Well, I mean, it's craziness. The whole thing is craziness. They're just crossing in California like crazy. And it doesn't surprise me. You know, it doesn't surprise me. Like I said, why are we not taking care of it? Why are we still dealing with this stupidity? And I know now it's an election year, so now it's the forefront. And what kills me is, when Biden gets on there and says, "Oh, I would like to do something about it, and I would if they would let me." Yeah, okay, you can do something about it. You know, How about roll back the stuff that you stopped when Trump was in office? Like that they have to stay in Mexico. I'm telling you what, folks, it just made, yeah, and their military. Well, yeah, you see all between what 18 and 35 men alone, no women, no children with them coming across. Um, my neighbor in Texas lived in New York by the Canadian border growing up. Yeah, and I'm telling you, I mean, folks, as a kid, I went to Canada all the time. I'm from New York, obviously, originally. Anybody that watches the channel knows that I'm originally from New York. And, so from in Rochester to Buffalo's an hour and a half drive, and then there's the border. So you're looking at another half an hour, and you're right there. So we were always 2 hours away. So we would go up to Canada all the time. And that was before the whole nonsense of you have to have a passport to go to Canada, right? So we'd go up there, hang out in Canada, and party up there, and have a great time and then come back. It was not a big deal. And there were certain parts, even with, like, you have your main ports of entry, but there are other ports that you would, and you drive across basically. But there was other spots where you would drive across where it was so easy to get in. And I'll tell you a true story, guys, true story. And I may have mentioned this before. So me and a buddy of mine, I had a 1972 Chevy Impala, four-door boat, big blue car. It was a huge, huge car. It sucked gas like you would not believe. So we had gone up to Canada. We got up there on a Saturday night. There was no place to stay. All the hotels were full. So we ended up sleeping in the car that night. And the next morning, we decided we're going to the strip joint. So we went to the strip joint. We hung out there all day. Um, and I mean, I was hammered. I mean, there wasn't any. Do you think I might have been a little buzzed? I was hammered, hammered drunk. Okay, 18 years old, stupid, not thinking the whole 9 yards, right? So we get out in the parking lot, and these two guys come up to us, and they were like, "Hey, where are you guys going?" They saw the New York plates, and yeah, no, not you. I was a bad boy. I was not always a good boy. Um, so they were like, I said, well, we're heading back to the States. And they're like, oh, well, could you give us a ride, over the border? We're going to go visit some friends in Buffalo. And I knew they were lying. I knew they were lying, right? So I said, yeah, okay, we'll give you a ride. So now we got these two guys in the back seat. We're in the front seat. I'm driving. And I knew I was smart enough to know, even at Hammered, we're not going through the main thing that we always went through. We're going to go down the road this way and cross one of the crossings where it's literally one guard or two guards or whatever the case may be. So we go through that checkpoint, get through, right? Could you imagine? Messed up, drunk out of my mind, cross the border. I get across. I look at these guys in the back seat and I said, all right, we're in the United States now. I said, where are you going? And they're like, what are you talking about? I said, we're here. We're in the U.S. now. I know you're not going to Buffalo. Where are you going? Really going? And they were like, we're going to Florida. I said, all right, well, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll drop you off at a truck stop. You can catch a ride with those guys and we'll go from there. And they were like, okay. And that's what we did. But that's how easy it was back in the day to cross the border. Now, I'm not justifying me being drunk at all in any way, shape, or form. If I had a half a brain in my head at 18 years old, I never would have drove, period, like that, and then try to cross the border that hammered. That's just stupid. That's just stupid. But, you're not always thinking logically or smart when you're that age. But yeah, it just. But again, it was more laid back then, and all of a sudden now it's the way it is, where you have to have a passport. I'll tell you what, I have not been back to Canada since they said that you have to have a passport. I'm like, why do I have to get a passport to go, over to Canada for the day to hang out? It doesn't make any sense. It's just another revenue source, right? Obviously forcing you to get a passport to do it. They have the enhanced license. Yeah, I know they do that. I didn't want to do that either, to be honest with you. So I didn't do that either. So, but it's just, like I said, it's just, and I love Canada. I'll tell you what, Canada's a great place to visit. If you guys, I'll tell you, there's two cities that if you ever get a chance to go visit in Canada, I would highly recommend it. One is Toronto. Toronto's a lot of fun. It's a great place to go and visit. And the other one's Montreal. Montreal, and they're both really clean for the most part. There's obviously going to be places where it's a little bit more, dingy, if you will, but they're awesome places to visit. A lot of fun to go up there and just kind of hang out and see something different. So, but my mother's side is from and still in Canada. Sadly, I haven't been up there since the passport either. Yeah, and it's I like I said to me, why do I have to do that? We always used to joke around. Canada's like another part of the states anyway. Even though they're an independent country, it's like they're there because we allow it. I mean, and I'm not being facetious and I'm not trying to be a jerk, but that's the reality. There's not enough Canadians that could stop anything from happening, to be honest with you, if they were attacked by somebody else. So, they rely on us as well. So, it's just, they're a free country. I've never been to Vancouver. I would like to do that. I think that would be really cool as well, David. But, I don't know. I think that went away, Michelle, that you have to be this to cross. I know at one point it was. At one point it was, but Canada's beautiful. Calgary is awesome too. Went there for the rodeo stampede. Yeah, I've never been out to the west coast of Canada. I think, like I said again, that would be really, really cool. We're like two butt cheeks, just with a little line in between. Now that is funny. That is funny. Yeah. But anyway, it's just the situation is crazy, and but like I said, Canada's wide open, so anybody that wanted to come in through there as well could do it very easily. And again, guys, when you're dealing with bad elements, they're not stupid. No, you don't have to have the jab to get down into Canada now, just a passport. Okay, Delbert, thank you. I didn't. Yeah, I figured it probably changed. At one point, I did have it that way though. I know that. So, but yeah. Anyway, it's just the Canadian borders. If like I said, these bad elements that are out there, they know how to get into the United States. They're probably not coming through the southern border. They're probably not. Honestly, they're probably coming through the northern border because it's that easy. It's that easy to do it. You know, and who's going to stop them realistically? You have people that know how to get across all the time illegally, and they do it. So, you know, you wouldn't want to do it through the southern border that has more eyes on it, if you will. But if you go up there, well, a lot of times what they were doing, people were coming into the United States illegally. They would go up to Canada, and there was a spot in New York where they would get driven to, and then they would just cross the border to go into Canada. So, you have that going on as well. But if you're from Venezuela or Colombia, you can still cross the American border with no papers. No, a matter of fact, if you are from Russia, you can cross the Canadian border into the United States without papers. I did not know that. I did not know that. Jason said, I really feel like something is going to happen tomorrow to distract us from the Tucker video that will be released possibly tomorrow. Thoughts? Yeah, I know. He went over and did an interview with Putin, didn't he? I believe, if I'm not mistaken. The northern border has always been where people migrate from, my family included. And it is what that happens. Yeah, I think that'll be interesting. Who knows what they'll do? There are always things going to be done to distract. Oh, I gotta bring this up because guys, I laughed so hard. Right, I laughed so hard. Nevada just had its thing for the primaries there leading up to that, and Trump wasn't even on the Nevada thing, and none of the candidates beat out Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley was the only Republican candidate on the ballot in Nevada, and she lost to none of the above. I laughed so hard. I mean, what an embarrassment. What an embarrassment. So, lost to no name. Exactly. That is hilarious. I'm sorry. Um, People, they didn't want her that much that she lost to none of the above, none of the candidates or whatever the alternative was. How do you do that? Um, she said she's just waiting for South Carolina. She ain't going to win South Carolina either. She's not going to win, period. So she lost by 30%. Wow, that's craziness. So she's a serial liar. People notice these things. Well, and again, when she said, if you guys remember one of the things that she had said, from what I heard, I didn't hear it. So you tell me if you heard it or not. When she said that it's okay if Texas wants to secede um, from the country, why would you say that? Why would you say that? You know, Texas is part of the United States. They're not going to secede from the country. So she's also in the World Economic Forum. Yep. So yeah, I just, like I said, she's not a trustworthy person. A lot of people have said that, and so she's going nowhere fast. So why she's still hanging around? No idea. No idea. Because I think anybody that has an inkling of a brain knows who the Republican candidate is going to be, right? Who's the Republican candidate going to be? It's going to be Trump. And oh my God, the left is losing their minds, doing everything they possibly can to you know to get him out of there as the candidate because they already know. Um, you know, this time around, I think we're going to see a landslide. I think it would be a landslide victory for him because who would want 4 more years of Biden and Harris? But of course, I'm sure it's all Trump's fault that the country's a complete disaster. But we keep being told, and I keep hearing it over and over and over again, the economy is doing great. Well, I don't know where they're paying attention to or where they're getting their numbers from, but it doesn't appear, notice how I say it doesn't appear from the average citizen that the economy is doing anything good. So, what do we got? 352 in the chat, guys. We got 177 thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel. And thank you so much. Again, it really makes a huge difference with the algorithms. More interaction for the channel, the better. And I do appreciate it. So always like, comment, and share. But again, also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, also, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And I thank you ahead of time. Why can't we just and this is an honest question. Why can't we all just learn to get along and work together instead of wanting to fight each other and kill each other and play all these little games all the time, you know? Why? It doesn't make any sense to me. You do your thing, that's your country, you do your thing, and we'll take care of our stuff. You know, have your treaties, work your treaties out, agree to work together, whatever you're going to do. Why can't we do that? You know, we could accomplish realistically, we could accomplish so much. And I'm not talking about some big utopia. That's not what I'm talking about. It's just, work together. Ed, what do you think about inverters, generators? Because I bought one to use for gas and propane. Oh, I like those, Brad. I think if you have dual purpose generators with the inverter in them, so that you can charge batteries as well. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. And if you have two different options to be able to run that generator, meaning propane or gas, I think that that's a good thing. So yeah, people want peace, governments don't. And I realize it's about control and power and the whole 9 yards. I mean, you look at the situation. We'll go on a different venue here for a moment. Look at China in the South China Sea. Look at that whole situation that China claims that 90% of the South China Sea is theirs. Vietnam doesn't like that. Neither does the Philippines. And so you got all these little games, going on, and you got Taiwan and that whole situation. And it just, again, it's exerting power over others because you got more people and you have, a bigger military or navy, and you can basically exert your will. And again, the only thing stopping them from doing what they want to do is us, the United States. And don't get me wrong, okay? Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, oh, the United States are the greatest and we're so wonderful. No, we have exerted our power all over the world too. It's just now we have a competitor who wants to do the same thing. And, obviously we can't have that happen. So, I just don't get it, folks. I really, truly don't get it, you know. And I think a lot of people are just at a point they just want to be left alone. I think you're seeing a lot more of that. So, had surgery Sunday and came home Tuesday. What was your surgery, Don? Rice. I like Rice Krispies. I eat three cereals, guys: Raisin Bran, Rice Krispies, and shredded wheat. And here's for the simple reason I grew up on that. My grandparents. I'll show you the shredded wheat, and this is the only way I like to eat the shredded wheat. Okay, so there's my shredded wheat box, and so you got the package of three big shredded wheat things, and I used to sit with my grandfather, and I would eat the shredded wheat that way, and I always loved that. I thought that was like the greatest thing, and so it's you know too much carbs, high sugars. What sugars are in Rice Krispies? What sugars are in shredded wheat? And there's not. I mean, now other cereals, obviously, a lot of cereals are loaded up with stuff, but yeah, shredded wheat tastes like cardboard. No, shredded wheat is awesome. Shredded wheat is awesome. Frosted Flakes, I like Frosted Flakes too. I'm not gonna lie. Um, but no, I like the sugary cereals as well. Okay, I like the sugary cereals as well. Don't get me wrong, but those are things that like I said, I grew up on. So let's see. Okay, we got to look now. Rice Krispies. Let's see. Let's see. 160 calories per serving. Okay. Uh, oh, they do have sugar in here. Wow, how about that? Rice, sugar, corn syrup, and salt. Those are the ingredients in Rice Krispies. Who knew? All right. Well, I don't taste no sugar in it, so my apologies. I was wrong. Now you're gonna make me look at the shredded wheat. Well, you're not gonna make me, but now I have to know. Ingredients: whole grain wheat, DHT added to preserve freshness. That's it with shredded wheat. No sugar added, nothing like that. Whole grain wheat. There we go. Too funny. All right. That's pretty simple. Yeah, right. Yeah, we need more label reading. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I can remember. Okay, who remembers this? Because it's changed. It's changed. As a kid, graham crackers. You had regular graham crackers, right? And then you had cinnamon graham crackers. Well, when you would eat the cinnamon graham crackers, man, they were loaded, and they were awesome. They tasted delicious. And now the cinnamon graham crackers are crap. Not even close. Not even there's no comparison, and they don't taste anything like they used to. So they changed it. Yum, BHT. You got it, Kit. Good. So anyway, yeah, the graham crackers are not the same. Because I can. So this is what you did as a kid, okay? You get your glass of milk, right? You get your glass of milk. This is what I did. Let me rephrase. This is what I did as a kid. You get your glass of milk. You got your cinnamon graham crackers or your regular graham crackers, either one. You take peanut butter and put peanut butter on your graham cracker. You dip it in your milk to get it soft, and then you would eat it that way. That's what I did. And so some you'd eat some of them just regular, or then you ate some of them that you dipped. So, uh, love graham crackers. Yeah, you have to grow up with shredded wheat. Absolutely. You have to. That's kind of, well, like I said. I mean, I grew up with my grandparents, folks. I mean, so that's my story. That's what I'm sticking to. So, all right. So we're gonna do egg count here in just a moment. We got 371 in the chat. We're at 208 on the thumbs up. So again, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm gonna ask you to please do so to show support for the channel, and I thank you ahead of time. Really does again make a huge, huge difference with the algorithms. So I thank you for that reason as well. Also, again, if you are not subscribed, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And thank you very much ahead of time. All right. Oh, I like grits. John D said, "Who eats grits?" I like grits as well. Yep. And I'm not even from the South, so there you go. Uh, all right. How many eggs today? And yes or no for the white hen. Give you guys a moment to get your guesses up here. Give you a moment, and we will go from there. So, ah, so I got to tell you, I'm going to give you the egg count here in just a second. But yesterday, of course, not an egg count day. I ended up yesterday with 5 eggs yesterday, and the white hen did lay yesterday. So I was like, wow, that's awesome. And today, I said, what is up with you lazy chickens? If you had the same exact guess as Tony Blackmoon, which not many of you did, 2 eggs today, and yes, the white hen did lay. Lazy girls today. I don't know what that was all about, but yeah, they. I was picking for yesterday. There you go. But yeah, I got 5 eggs yesterday, and today they only laid 2. So who knows, right? So yeah, you just never know. But and I literally had a stretch. I had 3 or 4 days in a row where they laid 4, and then I had a day where I got 2, and then I got to 5, and then I got 2 today. Weather change, mine are doing the same. But yeah, the weather hasn't changed down here. Today was literally the 5th day in a row where it has been unbelievably beautiful weather. I just, the sun's been out all day. It's been very, very nice. And I think tomorrow's supposed to be another day like that again. So yeah, it's just, who knows? But, I'll tell you what, when I get, 4 eggs out of 6 hens, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all. So, but so congratulations to Tony. You've won absolutely nothing, but you are happy about it. So there we go. So yeah, it's weird. You just don't know from day to day why they do what they do. I mean, I changed out and gave them fresh water yesterday. Gave them, refilled their food, so they're absolutely good. Yeah, it's been in the 50s, Larry. We've been in the 50s during the day, colder at night, but not like I think this morning. We started out 28, 29 degrees this morning, but again, okay, it's or February, so I'll take, every day that goes by. Number two things happen. Two things happen every day that goes by. The days get a little bit longer, and we're one day closer to spring. So when we can have a stretch like we just had here this last 5 days, where the sun has been out every single day, and I haven't had to run the generator at all, And so yeah, it's they lay every 26 hours, and there's only 24 hours in a day. It's going to vary from day to day. Yeah, no, I hear you, Don. And the temperature and the weather definitely play a factor. When it's colder, the chickens don't lay as much. I mean, that's a fact. So, you know, are you guys putting in raised beds gardens this year? I'm not exactly sure what, you know, I know we want to try to get greenhouses in this year, so we may try to focus on that a little bit. We're gonna have to see what's gonna happen. Our hen stopped laying when we got feed from a new store. The change, that makes sense, Tony. Yep. Change always, you know, anything different can definitely upset. If they get stressed, if the chickens get stressed for whatever reason, that can change the laying dynamics as well. So, ever been to Burlington Beach? Where is that? Because I may have and don't remember, but if you tell me the area where it's at, I can tell you if I've probably been there or not. What kind of solar setup do I use? I use a 48-volt system, guys, and I will highly, highly encourage Ontario. I think probably not. Then probably not. But yeah, in Canada, I've never been to the beach in Canada, other than up in the Thousand Islands. Been up in the Thousand Islands in a couple of boats and stuff like that, and we did stop in Canada. But and there's another great way to get into the United States, right? Island hop and go from island to island. And if you have, smugglers bringing you in, it's not difficult that way either. And there's nobody watching. So, but anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, but my solar system, 48-volt system is what I put in down here. Works fantastic. Absolutely delighted with it. I would highly recommend if you're going to go solar, pay once, cry once, put in a 48-volt system. I know it's more expensive, but in the long run, if you don't, you will eventually, and you're going to end up paying more because I went from a 12-volt off-grid system to a 24-volt off-grid system to now a 48-volt off-grid system. And I knew when I came down here that I was going to go with a 48-volt system from day one. And I will tell you, generally speaking, when we get into probably March, from March until November, I generally don't have to use the generator except maybe two, three times. And that's only if we have like an extended period of time where we're not getting a lot of sunshine. That's the only time during that stretch of time that I have to use the generator. Now, obviously, excuse me, you get into December, January, and February, you don't know what the weather's going to be like. You're talking shorter days, obviously, and stuff like that. And so it makes a difference. The longer the days are, the more power you have the potential to get. So it definitely makes a difference. But yeah, I just to me, if you're gonna do it, if you're gonna go solar, do it the right way from day one, and you're never gonna be sorry. you know and so that would be my advice to people. But what's the lifespan of a solar battery typically? It depends on the battery, Richard, the quality and stuff like that. But the lithium ions have a longer shelf life than the other batteries that are out there. Like I had, okay, I had Trojans, L16E batteries for my 24-volt system. And then I upgraded to the lithium ion from there. But the Trojan batteries, those were lead acid batteries, okay? And they had a shelf life of about 10 years. Now, once you get into the lithium ion, there's so many cycles that they can do, but you could look at almost 20 years with a lithium ion battery, and there's no maintenance with them either. See, with the lead acid battery, it was maintenance. You'd have to make sure that distilled water was up to a certain level because it will dissipate and all kinds of stuff. And you got to make sure that your battery room is vented so that the off gassing, it goes out. You don't deal with that with the lithium ion batteries. So again, lithium ion more expensive? Absolutely yes. Worth the money? In my opinion, yes. So anyone hook up their well to solar? My well ran on solar for years, Forest Ghost Preparedness, and that was with a 24-volt system. Uh, and the well up in New York, I'm trying to think how deep it was. The well in New York, I think, was about 120, 130 feet deep. So, where the well down here is 320 feet deep. So, it's again. So the system that I got set up here for the well pump here is 220 because you need the extra power when you're coming from that deep. So Floyd says, I'm new here from Seaside, Oregon. Well, welcome, Floyd. Thank you for joining us. Very much appreciated. But yeah, like I said, if you're going to go for it, guys, and it's a learning thing as well, you got to figure out, again, what works. I remember your 12-volt system with the lead acid batteries. I started out with the batteries from, I got them from Sam's, not Sam's. Was it Sam's? I think it might have been Sam's Club. And they were more golf cart batteries, the smaller golf cart batteries is what I started out with. And I went from them. So I bought that 12-volt system, had that with the lead acid batteries, golf cart batteries. From there, I went to the 24-volt system with the Trojan L16Es. They were 100-pound a piece batteries, heavy, heavy batteries. And I went to those. And then when I re-upgraded the system in New York the third time, I upgraded the batteries to the lithium ion batteries, and that made a big, big difference. So, does someone have to install it for you, or you can do it yourself? We never had some outside company install those batteries. I have a friend of mine, Brian, who is an electrician, and he came out and he helped us out and got us all set up and all those type of stuff. And I still, if I have a question, if I have any kind of issues down here, I'll hop on the phone and I'll talk to Brian. And he's amazing. He's a great, great guy. And he actually came down here to West Virginia from New York to help me set up this system down here. That's what it'll be 2 years ago in April. It'll be 2 years already that we set the system up down here. And I have where I'm at, folks, down here, there are no power lines where I'm at. There's no power lines coming into the property. So either, you would have to pay to have them come in and bring it in here, or you do solar. Well, obviously, I was going to go solar no matter what. I've been doing it that way for 9 years. Had 27-ish on the meter when we woke up this morning, even with one inverter working at the moment. So Sean is my daughter's boyfriend. So thanks for giving us that info, Sean. So the system in New York is working well also. I installed my solar system, I'm off grid. There you go. And that's the thing. You can do it yourself, or have somebody that knows what they're doing help you. And I think that it's important. What do I use for Wi-Fi? What I use for Wi-Fi down here is I am with Verizon Wireless, and so I get a box that I use, and I plug the box in, and I get so much things a month, so many gigs or whatever they call it a month. And so when I am not using it, I unplug it. So it's unplugged, and when I get like when I had it off most of the day because I wasn't here. So when I came home and when I want to get online and get on my laptop and get online, I'll plug it in then so that I'm on. And like when I go to bed at night, I disconnect everything. Why have it run when I'm sleeping? That doesn't make any sense. So, I mean, I'm talking about the internet. I don't need it when I'm sleeping, so I just disconnect it then. So I just use the internet for when I need it. And I haven't gone over my time yet. Actually, I'm always under the time. And I had a couple months where I was close, and it was like, I had like a couple days left, and they're like, you got 10% left. So, those I made sure I stayed offline more. But it just, if you are not online constantly, you're not going to go over, your allotted amount that you're allowed to have. So it's not bad, Nick. So I'll tell you an example. Okay. Uh, if I'm in New York and I'm using the internet in New York, we have fiber optic in New York. All right. If I make a 10-minute video, if I make a 20-minute video in New York, it literally is ready to go with inside of 3 minutes. With inside of 3 minutes. And so, it's amazing. It's so fast. It's like bam. Before I'm done putting in all the information that I got to put in for a video, that video's up in New York. Now down here, uh, a video can take an hour to upload. I'll give you an example. The video that, and I was shocked because, and again, depends on time of day. So it depends on who's online and how much traffic is on there. But I did a video this morning. It was a 9-minute video and I uploaded it. It took 16 minutes down here, which is fantastic for down here because normally you're looking at least an hour, depending again on the length of the video. If I do a 12-minute video, it could be an hour and 20 minutes for it to upload. So, that's part of what being here I have to deal with. So, but like I said, that's kind of where I'm at with that. I know we're running out of time here as far as we got to do our next thing, and I have to get this out. So I'm going to ask again. We're at 318 in the chat. We got 228 for the thumbs up. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, let's go with 250 for today, right? That's only what 21 more because we're at 229. So we need 21 more thumbs up, guys. We're going to go for 250. If you would do that, that would be awesome. And I appreciate that. Again, it really makes a big difference with the algorithms. So I thank you for that reason as well. Again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications. All right, we're going to start out with Heavenly Hills Homestead. That is Ryan growing giant vegetables. Real good guy. Definitely worth to listen to. I can't wait to see what we're going to do here at the homestead this year with Ryan, with his knowledge of growing and stuff like that. And very, very cool. Thank you, Floyd. Appreciate you subscribing. We have Icky Can up in Canada. Real good guy up there. He's been living off grid almost as long as I have. Definitely show him some support as well. We have Angry Prepper. That is Jason down in New York City. Jason is a good guy. Definitely worth to listen to. So definitely check him out as well. You have Alaska Prepper. That is Rudy, another guy. A lot of good knowledge with him. So definitely check him out as well. There is Alaska Granny. You have Sean James with the Sean James channel and myself, Reliance. Two different channels, same guy, unbelievable builder, living off grid. A lot of fun to watch what he's doing. So definitely check him out as well. There is Demcad. I like Demcad as well. Gives a lot of good information. You have Corporal's Corner. There's Bjorn Hansen. You have 80K Man up in the Adirondacks. There is Bizariza Jizza, who does the Carrington Chronicles. Again, a very interesting story, definitely worth to listen to. There is Marfugal News, Adam and Dax out on the West Coast. Definitely a good guy. Definitely good to listen to what he has to say. Let's see, where am I? Magic Prepper in North Dakota. You have Wrangle Star, that is Cody, another good guy. A lot of great information on his channel. There is Red Poppy Ranch. We have Survival Lily coming at us out of Europe, giving us all the latest information of what's happening over there. There's Kyle's Cabin up in Minnesota. Kyle and Sierra doing their thing, living off grid up there. Nice young couple. There's Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods, husband-wife team. They split their time between Michigan and Alaska. Definitely worth to listen to. There is Green Greg's. You have Southern Prepper 1 with his Boots on the Ground series. Definitely very cool with what he has to say there. There is Gray Man Prepping. You have, okay, so she changed the name, so I got it later on. Truth Be Told with Tara. That's the new channel for Tara. It's Truth Be Told with Tara. You have Doug and Stacy. Doug and Stacy have been around a long time. Definitely worth to listen to. I like them a lot as well. You have the nomadic movement. They're down in Panama, a nice young couple down there living off grid and following their dream down there. There's the Green Dream Project. Again, another couple living out in the desert of Arizona. I had something in the corner of my eye. I'm sorry. Down in Arizona, showing you what it's like to have to live off grid out there. There's Camping with Steve Wallace, doing stealth camping. A lot of fun to watch him up in Canada. Good guy. There's Bush Doctor Survival. There is Monkey Works. You have the Needy Homestead, been around a long time. A lot of good information on her channel as well. There is Boss of the Swamp, another master builder. Really interesting to watch him and see what he has to do. Very cool to see his thing. We have Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch project. Like Diamond, very, very smart guy. A lot of good information on his channel. You have Patera with the Appalachian Homestead. She's been around a long time as well. Very straightforward, and I like that. There is City Prepper. You have Lumina Acres. There is Suspicious Observer, giving us all the latest information of what's going on with the sun. I think it's very cool to watch that. You have Bear Independent, the Uneducated Economist. There is Bushcraft Bear in the Canary Islands of La Palma. You have Mary Greeley News. Mary Greeley's giving you all the latest of what's going on with Yellowstone, with the earthquakes and all that different type of information. Very interesting. There is Adapt 2030. You have Malachi's Corner. There is Ryan Hall Y'all. If you're going to get your weather, folks, there's only one guy we should be getting our weather from, and that is Ryan Hall. He's very passionate about the weather, but he's also gives back to the community in a huge way, and I have a lot of respect for him for being able to do that. There is Russell Brand. Russell Brand is a straight shooter, gives you the information, lets you decide what you want to do with it, and I like that. There is Deep South Homestead, another very family-friendly oriented channel, definitely worth to listen to. You have The Outsider up in Maine. There is Betting on Alaska, the young man who was the son of Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods. Really very, very cool. Nice young man trying to follow his journey up in Alaska. You have The Fit Farmer. There is Prep Rebel. You have Simple Life Reclaimed. There is Townsend, showing you what it's like to live in the 1800s. You have The Prepared Mind. There's Pinball Preparedness down in Tennessee. There is East Tennessee Preparedness. You have The Economic Ninja. And last but not least, Little House Off Griddy. A lot of good channels out there, a lot of good information. I think it's important that we should be supporting each other. I know you guys put other channels in the chat, which is absolutely fine. I don't have a problem with that. And, I can't give everybody a shout out. So I have my list. I try to keep it to that, and we go from there. But like I said, we're a small community, and I do believe we should be supporting each other, and I think it's important that we do so. All right, that being said, then we're at 254 on a thumbs up, so we blasted through 250. I probably should have said 275, right? I'm not going to push it, guys. Whatever you want to do, if you want to keep throwing them up there, that's great, and that'll be awesome, and it's very much appreciated. So, but anyway, what was I going to tell you guys? I really am going to strongly continue to encourage you to prep, to prepare, to be ready as much as you possibly can be. We never know what's going to happen. We really don't. So the more prepared we are for whatever natural or unnatural disasters that go on, the better off we're going to be, and there's always going to be something that is going to happen. There's always going to be something. There's going to be the next natural disaster that comes through that causes flooding, fires, hailstorms, tornadoes, hurricanes, snowstorms, ice storms, always. It's never stops. So if you are prepared to deal with those situations, the better off you're going to be. What are we planning for the weekend get together? Yes, the weekend get together is this weekend, guys. When my group comes down, we have already discussed this. What we're going to focus this month, honestly, is the bunker. The bunker is going to be the focus this weekend. We didn't touch it last month, so when everybody comes down, it's going to be all out on that bunker this month. I want to get So the goal with the bunker this month is to get the first part to the dimensions that we want it, so that I can get the metal, so we can start tack welding in the metal for support and the wire meshing also for support, and get that kind of squared away. I would like to try to get that, so we need to get the dimensions where we want them. You can't do that until you have it where we want it. So yeah, the focus this get together, and also the guys that have buildings down here, I want to try to make sure that they get an opportunity to work on their buildings as well. So we're going to rotate people in and out that way as well. So I have not moved all the water catchment containers in yet. No, I have not. I've been actually pretty busy. So a lot of them are still up on top. We'll get them down here, as well. We're going to get them in here. But I actually have been pretty busy with other things. So, there's always something going on. And so I just haven't really had the opportunity to get them all in here yet, but we'll get them all in, and nobody's stolen any, so they're still there. I mean, I'm in a pretty decent area, folks. To be honest with you, I'm very fortunate that way. So, Mrs. T said the live is stopping. Does anyone else have this problem today? If you're having that problem, Mrs. T, sign out and then sign back in. That's probably the best way to do that. How are we cleaning those? Well, we're gonna we kind of have a game plan. We're gonna have to see how it works. So there's definitely a rhythm to the madness, if you will. How many are left on the roadside? I think I got to bring down. I think I only have 8 in here so far. To be honest, I think it's only 8 that I got in. Like I said, I just been busy with other things. So oil in most of them, yes. So I've had some buffering on my end. Okay, sorry. I will say on my end here, it's not been any kind of issues at all, which I'm happy about that. As you guys know, anybody that's watched the channel for a while, we went through a stretch where there was a lot of issues with the live stream, a lot of buffering, and I got kicked out offline how many times, and those type of things. So, but it's going to happen. There's always going to be connection problems and all those type of things. Well, let's do this, guys. We are Legion. We are many. We're all over the country. We're all over the world. Where is everybody from tonight? So we got Brad in Missouri, uh, Polar, Georgia. Oh, Sandy's down there. Hey, Sandy. Franklin County, Ohio. Omaha, Nebraska with Larry. Nowhere, Oklahoma with Okie Forge. BC, Canada with Janet. Palatica, Idaho with Janita. We got Masses in the house with John. Virginia with Critter Lover. The UP of Michigan with Dawn. Memphis, Tennessee. Tucson, Arizona with Angela. Leesburg, Florida with Joan. West Coast of Florida with Kit. Rolling Meadows, Illinois with Katrina. Hillsboro, Oregon with Chewy. Let's see. Yeah, Sean, your house. Exactly. Yeah, that's all right. Greenlee County, Arizona with Codster. Sean, the Englishman from Chatham, Ontario, Canada. We got Nova Scotia in the house. Our Life Off Grid. Very nice. East Central Illinois with Ranger. Bath, England. Brian, thanks for being here. Thanks for staying up late. Birdsboro, Pennsylvania with Melissa. Salem, Oregon with Lori. We got Orlando, Florida with Tina. Anderson, South Carolina with Little Stumpy. We got Mass once again with William. Dallas, Texas is in the house. West Central Ohio with Dale. So once again, folks, we truly are all over the country. We're all over the world. We're a huge, huge network of people. We're the ones that can make a difference now, and we can make a difference afterwards. Juby Joe is down in Tennessee. Soggy, Florida with Lori. Yeah, you guys have been getting hit pretty hard out there. What amazes me about that, I'll be honest with you, with California, you had all the situation where there was drought, water restrictions, all that. You got a ton of rain last year, and then they end up dumping so much of it out. because the reservoirs are all full, which makes no sense to me. They got to have a better way to save the water when they get it, so that when they need it, that they have it available. We got Fort Lauderdale in Florida, Palatica, Idaho, with Janita's in the house. You know, yeah, no shortage of. Well, we went through, guys. And that's the thing is too. Wherever you're going to have your area where you want to be, for a bug out location or whatever the case may be, you need to find out what works, what doesn't work, and all those type of things. And to me, it's like last year we went through a stretch. We got Southern New Mexico with Jennifer in the house. Very nice. Um, I went through a 3 month stretch where I think we had 2 inches of rain in 3 months. So it was really, really dry for that stretch. We didn't have any water coming in. And that's why setting up rain catchment and getting as much water on hand as we possibly can is so important, so that we have it, that we have it. And when you need it, you need to have that water. So, those are things, with proper planning, you should be in okay shape. But it's you got to have that squared away, and that's what we're trying to do here. But the well's doing fine, hasn't changed. We got Village Homestead up in central New York. Yep. No, the well is there. Sean said he wants to get the gutters fixed and the filter built to get the rain up next to the house. Yeah, you got a 550-gallon tank there, my friend, ready to use. So anyway, guys, I want to thank my moderators who do an absolutely awesome job keeping the chat clean. They are amazing. So, ladies and gentlemen that moderate for me, thank you very much for doing what you do. It makes a huge difference to makes these chats that much better. So very much appreciate what you do. I want to thank all you guys for being here and supporting the channel. I appreciate that as well. If you guys aren't here, then I'm not here. So I do appreciate that support as well. And it's a like I said, I really do enjoy these chats, and we have a lot of fun, and hopefully we share some useful information, and maybe you learn something, maybe you don't. So, but you're still here, so that's a good thing. But I have to ask, how's Miss Molly and the other cats? They're doing fine. No issues up there whatsoever with the cats. So Mr. Max is hanging on. He's definitely looking like a very old cat because he is an old cat now. Unfortunately, that happens. So anyway, guys, remember, we truly are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. If we ever figure that one out, we're going to be in much, much better shape. Max is old, grumpy, and always hungry. Yes, that's Max. Food aggressive, always was. But if we could come together as human beings and stop letting them divide us, they like to use race, religion, and political affiliation, or just three of the tools that they use to keep us fighting amongst each other, which is nonsense. If we could ever come together as human beings, we could accomplish anything that we set our minds to, which would be amazing. Also, remember, guys, hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day, tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really, really important that we tell the people that we care about and that we love every day how we feel. Last but not least, STD, step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, one day at a time. If you use that mantra and you set realistic goals, you can accomplish anything that you set your mind to. And the only person that is going to stop you from accomplishing those goals is you. Stay away from negative people that want to bring you down, to tell you what you cannot accomplish. Show them by just doing it. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. Set your goals, set realistic goals, set about, make them happen. And before you know it, they're getting done. And it's amazing. Hello, how are you? Uh, So just so you guys know, again, I know I've mentioned this before, German Shepherds only shed twice a year. Remember that? Only twice a year. And each time it lasts for 6 months. This is a shedding machine. This I could not tell you how many how many dogs I've swept up off my floor because of her shedding. It is just unbelievable. But she is a pretty girl. She is my child. Well, one of my children. So, anyway, guys, be safe. I will see you all on the next one. I hope you guys have a great night. Keep prepping. Stay focused. Take care of your business. All right. We're at 268 on the thumbs up. So, well past the 250 goal. So, you guys have a great night, and I will talk to you all later. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.